My child, stop for a moment. Do not turn away and do not let your mind wander to the next thing. I need you to hear me right now because this message is not late. It is not by accident. It was set apart for this exact moment and I need you to receive it. I am speaking to you because something just shifted. You surprised me. Music, yes, finally you did it. And before you doubt those words, before you try to make this moment smaller than it is, listen closely to my voice. I'm not shocked because I did not know what you could do. I'm not surprised because I ever doubted you. I speak this way because you finally stepped into what I have been waiting for you to believe. You moved when fear music was still loud. You chose faith when your hands were shaking. You did what you kept postponing and heaven took notice. This matters now, music, not tomorrow, not someday now, but I must also tell you the truth and I will tell it straight. There is a reason this word almost did not reach you. The enemy did not want you to hear this. He wanted you distracted. He wanted you wandering from one empty music thing to the next, because what I am about to speak will expose him. He has been working against you in ways you did not even recognize. Music in your habits, in your thoughts, in the people you let close. Music, he has been whispering lies into your mind, telling you that you are too weak, too music broken, too far gone for me to ever use you. And little by little, you started to believe it. That is exactly what he wants. To keep you stuck, defeated, and blind to what I placed inside you. Music, but hear the truth now spoken from my own mouth. The enemy has no power over a child of mine who stands firm. He can tempt you. He can lie to you. Music, but he cannot destroy you unless you hand him the key. So this message carries two things, and you need them both. It carries my joy because you finally moved, and it carries my warning because what you just stepped into must be guarded. A door has opened, and every open door draws two kinds of visitors. Music, my purpose and his schemes, do not let that frighten you. I am not speaking to alarm you. I am speaking to arm you. A father who loves his child does not only celebrate, music, he also prepares. Today I will do both. Let me return to the moment itself, because I do not want you to rush past it. I saw the breath you took before you said yes. I saw you act while your mind was still full of questions. I saw you decide to stop waiting for perfect conditions. That is why I speak with urgency now, because hesitation has stolen enough of your days. And this season is about movement. Do you feel that mix of excitement and fear inside your chest? That is not confusion. That is awakening. Something in you finally came into agreement with what I have been whispering for so long. And I am calling your attention now so that doubt does not creep in and rewrite this moment. Doubt is a thief that comes quickly after every act of faith. It will tell you that nothing really happened. It will tell you that the step was small, that it changed nothing, that you imagined my hand in it. Music, do not listen to that voice, not even for a moment. Stay with me until the end of this message. Do not rush away. Music, this is not noise, this is direction. And I have much more to speak over you today. You are not music behind. I want you to hear that clearly because you have measured yourself against others for too long. You looked at their pace and called yourself slow. You looked at their harvest and called yourself empty. But I do not measure my children against each other. I measure a heart against its own calling. And your heart just answered. You surprised me. Not because I expected little from you, but because you finally believed me enough to move. There is a difference between knowing what a child can do and hearing that child finally say, yes, I have always known what you carry. Now you are beginning to know it too. That is what changed today. And because you moved, things are moving, not everything at once. I rarely work that way. But the ground under your life has shifted, and what was locked has begun to loosen. You could not feel it yet with your hands, but your spirit felt it. That is why you are here listening music instead of 100 other places you could be. So let my words settle. Let them reach the rooms inside you that have been shut for a long time. Some of those rooms hold disappointments. Some hold questions you stopped asking because the silence hurt too much. I'm going to walk through those rooms with you today one by one. Music, and I will not leave a single one the way I found it. Everything I have covered across this channel is now in one place. The prayers, the teachings, the daily blessings, it is all inside the Daily Miracle Manual. Link in the description. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give, and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let us open the heavens together. Release your seed today, join our community, and see what God brings back into your life. This is only the beginning, my child. What you began in courage, I intend to establish in strength. Music, but strength requires truth, and truth requires listening. Not the kind of listening that nods and forgets. The kind that music bends a life. So quiet the noise around you, set down what you were carrying when this word found you. For the next stretch of this road, it is just you and me. And I have waited a long time for this conversation. I'm not in a hurry, and I will not speak over your heart. I will speak into it. Breathe slowly, unclench your hands. What I am about to show you concerns the step you just took, the battle around it, and the road that opens beyond it. Nothing I say today is meant to shame you. All of it is meant to steady you. So hear every music word to its end. Declare your amen now. If your heart is ready to hear me, now I need you to know something deeply and clearly. I saw everything, not just the moment you finally moved, music, but all the moments before it, the ones no one else noticed, the ones you carried alone in the quiet. I saw the nights you stayed awake, turning the same thoughts over and over, wondering why something that looked easy for others felt so heavy for you. I saw the days you smiled on the outside while feeling stuck and frustrated within. You were never invisible to me, not for 1 hour of one day. I saw your hesitation, and I did not judge you for it. Music, I understood it. You were not weak. You were carrying more than you ever spoke about. You were trying to be strong while wrestling fear, disappointment, and self-doubt all at the same music time. I heard the question you asked in the dark. What if I fail? And I heard the quieter fear underneath it, the one you never said out loud. What if I try and nothing changes, my child? I heard every one of those thoughts, even the ones that never music became words. There were moments you almost gave up on yourself, moments you thought, maybe this just is not for me. Maybe our music waited too long. Maybe I missed my window. I saw you pull back music when you wanted to step forward. I saw you delay because you were afraid of being disappointed again. And still, I stayed close. I did not rush you because your heart was learning something in that long stretch of waiting that no shortcut could have taught it. You were not ignoring me. You were growing even when it felt like nothing was happening at all. I was strengthening you quietly. I was teaching you endurance. I was teaching you discernment. I was shaping your heart so that when you finally moved, you would move with sincerity, music, and not from pressure. That is why I recognized this moment so clearly when it came. This was not a random decision. Music, it was the harvest of everything you walked through. I know there were times you felt misunderstood, even by people close to you. You felt like no one truly knew how much it cost you just to music keep going, just to choose hope one more time. But I knew I counted every time you chose to stay instead of quitting. I received every prayer that sounded more like a sigh than a sentence, and I answered more of them than you realize. Music, now listen carefully, because I'm about to show you what actually happened when you moved. What you did was not about bravery. Music, it was not about talent or strength or finally having everything figured out. It was about alignment. The moment you acted while still feeling uncertain, your heart came into agreement with my voice. That is what changed everything. For a long time, you believed you had to feel ready before you moved. You told yourself that peace had to come first. Confidence had to come first. Clarity had to come first. But that was never my order. I do not wait for feelings to lead. I respond to faith. And faith, music, does not mean the absence of fear. Faith means choosing me while fear is still speaking. There is a difference between feeling ready and being aligned. Feeling ready is an emotion. Music comes and goes. It depends on how your week went, on what people said music to you, on whether conditions looked right. But alignment is a decision of the heart. Music, it is the moment you stop consulting your fear and start consulting me. Many people, music, spend years waiting to feel ready. And in that waiting, they walked past the very thing I prepared for them. You broke that music pattern. You chose movement over comfort. You chose faith over control. And now I need you to release the idea that obedience must be perfect to be powerful. You thought hesitation disqualified you. You thought doubt slowed me down. But I have always worked through imperfect people who were simply willing. Moses argued with me at the burning bush. Gideon asked me twice for proof. Peter sank in the very water he had faith enough to step onto. I used every one of them. What mattered was never how clean the step looked. What mattered is that the music step was taken. That is why heaven responded when you moved. Not because you impressed me, but because you trusted me enough to act without music guarantees. I was never withholding anything from you. I was waiting for your decision to match what I had already placed inside you. Not punishing you, not testing you to see how long you would last waiting. The way a father waits at the door he already unlocked. When that alignment happened, things began to shift. Doors you could not open with effort will now open with grace. Not because you earned them, but because you agreed with me. This does not music mean everything will suddenly become easy, but it does mean you are no longer stuck. Music, you are no longer circling the same lesson. You have crossed a line inside, and the inside always changes before the outside does. I also want to correct a lie you have music believed for too long. You thought I was disappointed in how long it took you. I was not. Growth takes time, music, and maturity cannot be rushed. What matters is not when you moved compared to others. What matters is that you finally moved with a whole heart. I value your sincerity more than your speed. Hold on to this truth. You did not move alone. You moved with me, and when alignment happens, momentum follows. This is why this moment is different from every other time you tried to change. This is why it will not be wasted. Say, I believe. If this word is reaching your spirit right now, don't let doubt rewrite what just shifted inside you. Seal this alignment right now by typing, I believe, in the comments below. Let it be a bold covenant with God that you are choosing faith over fear and stepping into your movement. Now I want to teach you something about what comes after obedience, because the step you took was not the end of anything. It was an entrance. You music have crossed into new territory, and new territory must be held. Ground that is gained can be lost again if it is left unguarded. So listen closely, because I am going to show you how the enemy works and how a heart stays free. But first, understand what this season asks of music. It asks for open hands. For years, you held your life tightly, guarding every corner of it, deciding that safety meant keeping and control meant peace. That grip is what kept you stuck. The step you took was the first loosening of it. Now I am inviting you to loosen it further, because trust that costs nothing changes nothing. Everything you have passed through my hands before it reached yours. The strength in your body when you rise, the work of your hands, the provision that found you in seasons when the numbers made no sense. You have never once carried yourself, even on the days you were certain you were carrying everything. Music, remembering this, is not a burden. Clears throat, it is a freedom, because a heart that knows its source can release without fear. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you into the harvest I am preparing. Now stay with me, because what I say next will protect everything you have begun. The enemy watched you take that step too. Music, and I want you to understand how he answers the child of mine who starts to move, because he rarely answers with something loud. Music, he answers with something small. He does not need to destroy you. He only needs to redirect you by a few degrees. Music, a small compromise, a little decision you tell yourself does not really matter, a habit you believe you can handle, a conversation you call harmless. He is patient. If he can get you to say yes to something small today, he can get you to say yes to something larger tomorrow. And over time, if he succeeds, you will no longer see the difference between my will and your own desires. You may think it is not a serious thing because your life still looks fine from the outside. You still pray, you still gather with my people, but a door left open does not need to look dangerous to be dangerous. Music, an open door only needs time. And he will not waste the opportunity you give him. My word says it plainly, be sober-minded, be watchful, for your adversary prowls like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. That was not written as a suggestion. Music, it is a warning from a father who knows exactly how his children are hunted. A lion does not chase the whole herd. It watches for the one who drifts to the edge, the one who stops paying attention. So I ask you now with love and without accusation, is there something in your life you have been justifying, something you defend a little too quickly when your conscience raises its voice? You know what it is. You knew it before I finished music the sentence. Stop calling it harmless. Close that door before what is prowling music outside walks in and makes itself at home. I say this because I remember what the enemy has already taken from music, and I am not willing to let him take more. You had a calling, you felt it. There was a hunger in you for me, a knowing that you were meant to make a difference. And then something changed. A distraction, a wound, a failure, a relationship that pulled you off the road, and you never fully recovered your footing. That was not random, that was strategy. He did not need to destroy you. He only needed to quiet you, to convince you that your past disqualified you, to keep you busy enough, discouraged enough, distracted enough that your voice fell silent. Because a discouraged child of mine does not walk in purpose, and an insecure one never speaks with boldness. But hear me, I never changed my mind about you. The calling I placed in you did not expire while you were wandering. I still call you, I still choose you. The plans I made for you did not pass to someone else while you sat in your discouragement. They waited. The way a field waits through winter, alive under the surface when everything above looks finished and you are still breathing. Which music means it is not too late to take back what was stolen. Return to me fully, not halfway. Recover the hunger you had before the wound. The enemy's greatest fear is not your talent, it is your recovery. A child of mine who gets back up knowing what they now know is far more dangerous to his schemes than one who never fell. So guard the new ground, watch the small doors. Bring the hidden thing into my light music while it is still small, because you have seen what happens when it is fed. This music is not a heavy demand. It is the instruction of a father walking his child through territory. He knows completely. Music, I see every trap laid ahead of you, and I will name each one in time. For now, hold this close. Music, the step you took opened a door that heaven celebrates and the enemy fears. Keep it open by staying awake. What you guard with me cannot be taken from you. Now I must go deeper into a place most of my children never let me speak about. I want to talk to you about the hidden things, not to expose you, to free you. Sin feeds on secrecy. The longer a thing stays in the dark, the stronger its grip becomes. Maybe it is a habit you have been fighting in private for years. Maybe it is a thought you would be ashamed to admit music you carry. Maybe it is something you did that you have convinced yourself can never be told to anyone, and the enemy leans close and whispers, if people knew they would turn away from you. He tells you, keep it hidden, manage it alone. You can fix this yourself, but hear the truth. Hidden sin is the very thing eating the foundation out from under your prayers. My word says, confess to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. Healing does not come while you protect the thing that is wounding you. It cannot. Music, you are guarding the door of the very room I am asking to enter. And understand this clearly, I already know. Nothing you have hidden was ever hidden from me. I do not ask you to bring it into the light so that you can be humiliated. I ask because confession is where shame loses its teeth. The moment a hidden thing is spoken music before me, it stops being a master and becomes a memory in the making. I'm not waiting to condemn you. I'm waiting to lift the weight. There is something else you have been doing, and I say music this gently. You have been silencing my warnings, that uneasy feeling you keep pushing down, that tug on your heart in the middle of an ordinary moment. Music, that quiet conviction that rises when you are about to make the same choice again. Those are not your nerves. Those are me speaking softly because I always speak softly first. Too many of my children hear that voice and music say, it is not a big deal, I will deal with it later. And while they wait, the foothold becomes a fortress. By the time the damage is visible, the pattern is already deep. The cost of ignoring my warnings is not a single punishment. It is music distance, prayers that feel like they stop at the ceiling, a heart that slowly loses its softness. The more you silence music, my spirit, the fainter my voice becomes to you, not because I stopped speaking, but because you trained yourself not to hear. This is how people drift from me without ever deciding to leave. No single dramatic moment, just 100 small refusals to listen. And I am telling you this today, music, because I love you too much to let you drift quietly. I am raising my voice now so you will not have to learn this the hard way. Because here is what happens when my children refuse every gentle warning. The complete guide, every daily prayer, every spiritual tool, Everything I've put together to help you grow your faith is down in the description. It's called the Daily Miracle Manual. Now stay right here with me because, as this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history, it is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. I do not abandon them, but I will allow the comfort to break, and some of what you have called suffering in your life was exactly that. The heartbreak, the disappointment, the door that closed in your face. It was not random and it was not cruelty. It was the moment my voice, long ignored in whispers, finally reached you through circumstances. Some of you were chasing people I never sent. Holding on to habits I had already told you to leave. Stepping past warning after warning because facing the truth felt too costly. So I let the pain speak music where you refused to listen, not to crush you, to wake you. I would rather break your comfort than watch you walk whole and smiling into destruction. That is not harshness. That is the mercy of a father who can see the cliff you cannot. So if you are hurting right now, stop asking, why is this happening to me? That question circles and never lands. Ask instead, what are you saying to me through this? What am I being asked to release? What have I been ignoring? What pattern have I lived in so long that I started calling it normal? Pain examined in my presence becomes instruction. Pain ignored becomes repetition. And you will meet the same lesson again wearing different clothes. The worst thing you can do now is feel the weight of this warning and then go back to how things were. Do not nod at this word and change nothing. A warning that moves the heart, but not the hands, has done half its work and then been wasted. So act today, music not someday. Name the hidden thing before me out loud in your own voice. Music, true freedom begins when shame loses its voice. If you are ready to step out of secrecy and let God restore you completely, type, I walk in freedom in the comments. Let this simple declaration break the old grip and mark your official step into the light. Then find one trustworthy soul who walks with me and bring it into the light there too, because chains break faster in honest music company. End the pattern you have been protecting. If a certain road always leads you to the same fall, stop walking that road. Even if it is the familiar one, even if it costs you something to leave it. And when you have done that, let me do what only I can do. I do not restore my children halfway when I cleanse a heart. I do not keep bringing up what I have washed. The accuser will try to hand you the old record again and again. Refuse it. If I have released you, you are released indeed. And no voice in earth or hell holds the authority to rechain what I have freed. You wondered why your steps forward music always seemed to stall. Now you know where to look. It was never that I stopped moving. Music, it was that something hidden kept pulling the wheel. Surrender it and feel how differently the road runs when nothing in the dark is steering. This is the cleansing that makes room for everything I promised. Do not fear it. On the other side of this honesty is a lightness you have not felt in years. Now let me show you why so many of my children start well music and still drift. Because the step you took must become a walk, and a walk is held together by things the world never celebrates. The first snare is feelings. Music, so many of my children follow me only as far as their emotions carry them. When their heart feels warm, they pray. Music, when it feels cold, they wait for the warmth to return. But I never told you to follow your feelings. I told you to follow me. Feelings change with the weather, with sleep, with a single word from another person. Music, if your faithfulness rests on them, it will rise and fall 100 times a year. Anchor your walk in decision, not sensation. The second snare is the absence of discipline. The world says, do it when you feel like it. My son said, deny yourself, take up your cross daily and follow me daily. Not when convenient, not when inspired. There is no faithful life without the quiet repetition nobody sees. The soldier trains before the battle, not during it. The farmer plows in cold weather or eats nothing in summer. Do not despise routine. Routine is where I build what emergencies later reveal. The third snare is a starving spirit. You cannot stay close to me while feeding on everything except my word. It is written, music, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes to him from my mouth. Music, if you fill your days with empty noise and give me the leftovers, Do not be surprised when your faith music feels thin. A spirit like a body becomes what it eats. Feed on truth and watch your strength return. The fourth snare is compromise, and I have already shown you its anatomy. You cannot walk with me and play with the very thing I asked you to lay down. No one can serve two masters. Music, the divided heart, is the exhausted heart, forever negotiating, forever tired. Cut off the compromise completely. Half measures music keep the wound open. And the fifth snare is a silent prayer life. Without prayer you will drift. Not might will, my word says pray without ceasing, because prayer is not a ritual I demand, it is the lifeline between us. When the speaking stops, the distance begins, and distance is where every lie sounds reasonable. You do not need eloquent words, you need honest ones, and you need them daily. Hear this music and let it end the excuses. Staying faithful was never about intensity. Music, it is about consistency. Deny yourself daily, feed on my word. Never music stop speaking with me. That is the whole architecture. Simple to say, costly to live, and worth more than everything it costs. Now I must deal with the enemy that guards the road ahead of you. Because I can see it, even now, standing between you and the next step. Its name is fear. You are not paralyzed because I have not moved. You are paralyzed because fear told you not to, and music, you obeyed it. Understand what fear has been doing in your life. Fear says you are not ready. I say I am already with you. Fear says you will fail. I say I will guide you. Fear music paints detailed pictures of disasters that have never happened, and you have let those paintings steal real opportunities that were actually standing at the door. Every step you have not taken. Hear me, music, it was not because I had not called you. It was because fear became your master and you called its voice wisdom. But I never gave you a spirit of fear. That anxious narrator in your mind rehearsing catastrophe is not me and never was. When you feed fear, faith starves. When you starve fear, faith rises. It is that direct. The enemy wins nothing through power because he has none over you. He wins through your silence, your hesitation, your stillness. He wins every day you stay small. Music, and the step you just took proved to you once and for all that his voice can be disobeyed and the sky does not fall. Remember that proof. You sit. Music, there is one more thing standing in the road, and you already know what I am going to say. That habit, the one you keep justifying. You say you are ready for more, for calling, for purpose. And I love that hunger in you, but you cannot step fully into purpose while entertaining your poison. That one thing is not harmless. It is weakening you. It dulls your hearing so my voice reaches you muffled. It drains the strength you need for the very assignment you keep asking me about. I'm not hiding your purpose from you. Your own pattern is standing in front of it. You do not need another sign. You do not need another confirmation. You need to put the thing down. If you want me to trust you with more, prove trustworthy with the freedom you already have. The day you cut it off, you will be astonished how quickly the fog clears. Freedom does not begin with a feeling. Music, it begins the moment you stop making excuses. I know these words press hard. Music, I press because the hour matters and because you can bear it now. A year ago this word would have crushed you. Today it can build you. That is how much you have grown. Even when you could not see the growth, music, and do not receive any of this as a father's disappointment. Receive it, music, as a father's confidence. I do not sharpen a tool I intend to shove. I do not prune a branch I have given up on. The vine dresser cuts the branch that bears fruit so it will bear more. The very fact that I am correcting you this closely is evidence of how seriously I take what I am about to do through you. Speak. Music, I trust you, Lord, if you are ready to leave the old ways behind. We are shifting from subtle hesitation into full surrender. In the comments below, type, I trust you, Lord. Write it not as a passive phrase, but as a deliberate surrender of your past patterns, trusting his timing to complete what he started in you. Now let your heart grow quiet, because after warning comes promise, music, and I keep every promise I make. What you started in obedience, I will sustain with my faithfulness. You did not step forward alone, and you will not have to maintain this path by your own strength. I'm involved in what concerns you, and I finish what I allow my children to begin. Write that across the doorway of this new season. I finish what I begin. I know you are already looking ahead, trying to predict outcomes and timelines. I understand the hunger for certainty, but listen gently. I do not reveal everything at once because trust grows in stages. I give you light for the next step, not a map of the whole road, and that light is enough. It has always been enough. The lamp is for your feet, not for the horizon. When you walk with me, your obedience will not be wasted. No act of courage, no quiet surrender, no unseen faithfulness escapes my accounting. Even when progress feels slow, I am moving. Even when doors stay shut longer than you hoped, I am working on the other side of them. My timing protects you from arriving before the door is ready and from the door opening before you are. I also promise you peace, not the fragile kind that depends on circumstances behaving. Music the kind that settles the heart while answers are still forming. As you keep choosing me, you will notice a steadiness replacing the old churn of anxiety. Pay attention when you feel music that calm is not numbness. It is the signature of alignment, the quiet hum of a life that has stopped fighting its maker and understands something about music, what lies ahead. There are things prepared for you that the earlier version of you could not have held. Music not because you lacked worth, but because weight requires a frame to carry music A blessing that lands on an unready life becomes a burden, and I do not bless my children into collapse. The person who finally moved, who chose faith while fear still shouted, that person can carry what is coming. So do not envy anyone who arrived faster. If you want the full guide with every prayer and lesson I've compiled for this community, check the description for the Daily Miracle Manual. You are about to enter your divine future, but remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall, share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let us finish this journey together. Visit our community now, join the family, and see your heavens open. Arrival is easy. Music remaining is the test. You did not move too late. Hear this and stop rehearsing the years. If you had stepped out earlier, the weight would have bent you. If you had waited longer, the music restlessness would have soured into bitterness. My timing is precise, even when it is mysterious, music, and I am not asking you to understand it. I am asking you to stop punishing yourself with a calendar I never held against you. Now, because I love you, let me guard this promise with 3 warnings. They are small, but they decide everything. First, do not seek validation from people who cannot hear what I spoke to you. Not everyone music will understand why you moved when you did. Some will question your timing. Some will dress their own fear in the language of concern and hand it to you as advice. Love them, honor them, but do not let their uncertainty rewrite your obedience. I spoke to you, not to them. A word delivered to one heart rarely survives a committee. Second, do not measure your obedience by immediate results. You will music be tempted to look for quick confirmation, fast changes, visible rewards, and if they do not appear on schedule to conclude, you heard me wrong. But obedience is proven by consistency, not speed. The seed you planted is doing exactly what seeds do, working in the dark, out of sight before music anything shows above the soil. Do not dig it up to check on it. Leave it in my ground. Third, do not let the past dress itself up as home. There will be moments when the old stillness looks easier than the weight of walking forward, when the familiar cage glows warm in your memory, but remember how heavy that place actually was. Remember the restlessness you carried while pretending it was peace. Music, what I delivered you from, is not a refuge. It only photographs well from a distance. Do not go back to it because it is familiar. Familiar is not the same as safe. And in all of this, remember that rest and retreat music are not the same thing. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to stop and breathe. But rest in me, not in the old patterns. Lean on me when the road feels long. Music, I never asked you to carry this alone, and I never will. The strength you need tomorrow will be issued tomorrow. Today's strength is for today, and you have it, or you would not still be listening. Do not compare your pace with anyone else's. Music, I am not building you to resemble another soul. I am building you into the one music design I had in mind when I formed you, and no one else on earth received your assignment. Your pace is not a problem. Your music process is not a mistake. Even on the days you feel weak, I am reinforcing the foundation. Music, even when you doubt yourself, I remain steady. And it is my steadiness, not yours, that holds this together. I am proud of you for continuing when stopping would have been easier. I am proud of you for refusing to abandon yourself. Let that settle in, not as pride, but as assurance. The fact that you moved at all proves fear no longer holds the final word in your life. It may still speak. It will still speak. Music, but speaking is all it can do now. It lost the seat at the head of your table. So hold on to my promises when emotions rise and fall. Let them anchor you when the night is long and the answers are quiet. Music, I am faithful, and I do not change my mind about those I call forward. What I have begun in you will unfold with purpose, with peace, and with grace. You are held, you are safe in my hands, and the road ahead, step by step, will be lit exactly music when your foot needs the ground. Now we come to the moment that requires your answer. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more confident. Now what I am asking of you is not perfection, it is decision. Music faith is not proven by what you feel, it is proven by what you choose. And today you must choose again. You already took a step, music, and I received it with joy. But obedience is not a single moment. It is a posture of the heart. I'm inviting you into a new way of living where you consult me daily. Where you trust me in small things and large ones alike. Where you move with me, not ahead of me in anxiety, and not behind me in dread. I know part of you still wants reassurance before every decision. You want to be certain you heard correctly. You want a promise that nothing will go wrong. But certainty is not the soil where faith grows. Faith grows when you trust my character while the outcome is still hidden. Clear as throat, I am asking you to place your confidence not in results but in me. So pray even when you feel unsure. Act even when your voice shakes. This is where your faith transitions into action. Take a second to declare your availability to heaven by writing, "My purpose is active," in the comments. Announce to the Almighty that you are no longer negotiating with fear, but standing firm in your God-given assignment. Continue even when progress feels slow. These choices are not small. Each one is a stone laid into the life I am building with you. And each time you choose me, the old grip of fear loses another finger. Music, release the need to control every detail. Control feels safe, but it will exhaust you until there is nothing left of you but management. Music, trust feels risky, but it is the only thing that will ever set you down in green pastures. I'm not asking you, music, to be careless. I am asking you to be surrendered. Bring me your plans, your worries, your hopes, and let me order them. Guard your heart with the same seriousness. Be mindful of what you allow to shape you. Music, what you listen to, what you dwell on, what you speak over your own life. All of it matters. Music, words are seeds, even the ones you plant in your own soil. Choose words that agree, music, with truth, not fear. Choose thoughts that build faith, not dread. You are responsible for what you agree music with. So agree with what I have said about you. I am calling you to consistency, not intensity. You, music, do not need burning emotion to stay faithful. You need quiet commitment. There will be days when obedience feels natural and days when it feels like carrying stone uphill. I will be with you in both, and heaven counts them equally. Let this be the season you stop negotiating with fear. Stop waiting for permission from people. Stop shrinking when you feel exposed. Music, you are not walking blindly. You are walking with me, and a child walking with their father is never truly lost. Music, no matter how unfamiliar the road. Now come close and let your heart become still, because I do not want to end with instruction. I want to end with peace. You have carried so much pressure, so many thoughts. Music, so many questions that kept you company at night when you wanted sleep instead. Lay that weight down, music, now. Place it in my hands where it will be safe and where it was always meant to rest. You are safe with me. I spoke strongly today because I wanted this moment marked in your spirit. You surprised me, not because I expected you to fail, but because you finally believed me enough to move. You stopped waiting for perfect feelings. You stopped letting fear cast the deciding vote. Carry, music, that truth with you long after my voice fades from this moment. I do not measure you the way people measure you. Music, I look at the heart. I honor the surrender you gave when no one was there to applaud it. So let this settle gently. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. I have been, music, with you in the hidden places, and I will be with you in the open doors. The same hand that steadied your first step, music, will steady every step that follows. You do not have to carry the future all at once. I will hand it to you one day at a time, and I will not confuse you. My voice brings clarity. My presence brings calm. Music, when something drives you with panic and shame, examine it, because that is not how I lead. I draw, I do not drag. You still have unanswered questions, I know. You still wonder how everything will unfold. But hear me, unknown does not mean unsafe. It means you are being invited to trust me deeper than your own understanding. I'm not leading you into anxiety, I am leading you into maturity, and maturity feels quiet. It feels like peace returning to rooms that used to be tense. So breathe, let your shoulders drop, let your mind stop racing. I am already ahead of you on the road. I am arranging what you cannot arrange. I am softening what you cannot soften. I am opening what you cannot force. Your task is not to panic. Music, your task is to stay close. When doubt visits again, and it will, do not debate it alone. Bring it to me when you tire. Rest with me, not away from me. When the old life calls, remember its true weight, music, not its advertisement. You are not going back because I am taking you forward. And forward is where everything I promised is waiting. And now one final truth before I release you into what comes next. What you carry today is different from what you carried before. Before you carried questions and called them wisdom. You carried hesitation and called it discernment. You carried fear and called it patience. Music, but now you carry proof. Proof that you can move. Proof that when my voice calls, your heart is able to answer. That proof is yours forever. No one can argue it away because it happened. The next time fear speaks, you will remember this day. You will remember that you chose forward, and that memory will carry you across the next threshold and the one after that. This is how I build my children, not in one blazing moment, but in 1,000 quiet ones, laid one upon another until the life I designed begins to stand. You are inside that process right now. Do not despise it, receive it. Every faithful step from this moment on is a stone set true, a foundation deepening, a life rising. Not by your strength alone, but by mind working through your willingness, and that is enough. You are enough for what I am asking because I am enough for what you will face. Those you love and carry music in prayer are not outside this promise. As I have watched over you, I am watching over them. And your obedience opens roads that others will one day walk with you. Go forward now, my child. Carry this peace with music you into every room you enter. Let your life become the answer you kept asking me for. What began today is only the beginning, and I will finish what I started in you. If you receive all that I have spoken over your life today, declare I receive it. Amen. And walk forward with